Hello, everybody. Dorothy Morgan here, professional astrologer. We are going to talk about the moon in Sagittarius, the connection it makes this morning, meaning Tuesday, May 17th, makes an easy connection to Venus and Aries, but those are both fire signs. What does that mean? And we're also going to talk about the moon later in the day, makes a square aspect to that applying connection between Mars and Neptune. Water, fire. Let's get started. Actually, don't forget, we'll do the Astro Dice and we'll do a card at the end. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with you. You can see what I'm looking at. If I have the things in the way, I have some things in the way. There we are. This is what I want to look at. I got this for just later in the day. No ascendant, no midheaven, no houses. We don't talk about those because we can't. Everybody listening is in a different place on the planet. So those things are specific to that moment in time and where you live. Let's get started. So here's the moon in Sagittarius. Early in the day, it did make a trine aspect. It's still in play to Venus in Aries. Now, Venus in Aries, you've heard me talk about it already a few times this week. She's feisty in this sign. She's going to be able to, I value my own opinion. I value what I need. A lot of people who need additional courage or strength to speak up for themselves can feel quite energized with this Venus in the sign of Aries. And with the moon in the sign of Sagittarius, that is as well very fiery and very active. And again, if you've been following for a while, Sag, Capricorn, and a little bit of Aquarius is when the moon is out of bounds, but very, very south. So if you did see that eclipse, then it was also in a real southern declination. So it wasn't high in the sky like it can be half a month from now. Needless to say, moon in Sag is very energizing. We speak the truth. So the trine aspect between two planets is usually relatively harmonious, right? They're both fire signs. Aries and Sagittarius are fire signs, and they were connected by the math earlier in the day. So that represents, an opportunity to speak up for yourself, to say something that's important, or to put your intentions and wishes, if you will, out there and really be authentic about it, because that Sagittarius can be quite authentic, really speaks the truth, and sometimes without the thought of others. And sometimes we just put our foot in our mouth when the moon is in Sag, because we're just speaking what we're thinking, and there's no filter sometimes. So that might show up for some of us. All right. So keep that in mind. Now we also have, and they come together on the 18th, but Mars and Neptune right here, they're right next to each other there. I mean, they're in the same room, holding hands, they're together. Now, that mutable energy is easy, it's flowing, it's quite dynamic in the flow, the dreams, the hopes and dreams, wishes and goals, working with others, having compassion. Now, when the moon, also a mutable sign like Pisces is, this one's mutable fire, this one's mutable water. When they come together like this, 90-degree usually means there's some tension of some sort. However, there's still the same modality, meaning mutable, meaning changeable, flexible. I'm okay if I move to what's next. I'm not overly stuck on what's going on. However, what happens when you mix water and fire? It depends on which way it's going, right? If you have too much water, there's an awful lot of water here, connecting with fire, then water will put out fire. But the moon is the one that's making the applying aspect today, and that's fire to water. So if you have fire and you put it to water, you can make food, you can boil water, you can sanitize and sterilize things, you can run a steam engine that runs a train that's, thousands of pounds. Fire to water can be quite productive and in the material sense, but too much water to the fire puts that spark out. Which way will it work out for you? You'll know later in the day. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to pause that piece right there and let's get on to the Astro Dice. So the Astro Dice, just what we do here is just like, what does Spirit want me to know? Or you can ask a question, or if you're thinking about asking a question, ask away. Let's see what this The dice show. I see the sign of Scorpio. What planet is it? Oh, Mercury in Scorpio. I swear I got to get a gold pen to write these out. Mercury in Scorpio. So we'll start off with that. So what does Spirit want us to know? It's in the 9th house. So Mercury in Scorpio. Yes, Mercury in Scorpio. Wow, short-term memory went shot for a second there. This is deep, intense conversations. This is going deep. This is learning something at a whole nother level. This is in a way like the shamanic practices. I know a few people right now who are going into some really deep shamanic work. That's the Scorpio eclipse we just witnessed. It's the North Node in Scorpio. Is it the North Node? My apologies. Oh my goodness. It's the South Node in Scorpio. Apologies. And this roll of the die, Mercury in Scorpio. So it's about going deeper and really understanding that, but sharing that truth with others, because it's the 9th house and Sagittarius rules the 9th house. So you're going to hear me say some words I just said, because that's where the moon is in the sky on this day. So there is another component here for the energy for the day and the roll of the die that just says, it's like, if you have something deep that you need to really research to find your truth, then do it. If you want to go and learn something that will help you to learn how to process and how to integrate certain things in your life, this is a great way to do it too. The 9th house is all, besides being Sagittarius territory and being open and being authentic and speaking your truth, it's also higher education and learning things outside of just standard education. So maybe somebody here is going to learn, is going to school to be a hypnotherapist or a psychotherapist. Those are really important things that Scorpio has to offer. We can dig deep and understand those things. All right, I'm going to move on to the cards. More astrologies in my Patreon. You're welcome to come and join us there. It's that or having your own private session is a great financial way to support this free content here on YouTube. And hey, here on YouTube, just put if you like what you see, just share it with your groups. What do we got going on here? I just had to look at the bottom. Grandfather Sky. It's just so much about wisdom. And don't forget to subscribe, and if you like it, and comment below. That helps the whole process here on YouTube. Grandfather Sky is quite interesting because to me that has to do with wisdom. And again, if you have elders in your life, get their wisdom. Ask them for their opinion. Talk to them. Get that. That is so important. So that energy of this is to me, reaching for the stars, but also, going with the ancestors and seeing what it is that they want you to know too. I'm really trusting that. Grandmother Earth, Grandfather Sky. They're on either side of us. There are guides. There are guides. All right. One more. I'm going to pick this one. The elders came up again. It's on the bottom. Sometimes just the bottom card is what we want to see. And that's fantastic. So the elder card came up again. I think it was up day before yesterday. And, that circle of life just comes around a lot too. And I just shuffled and Grandfather Sky came up. Well, somebody's grandfather is here. I'm not a medium, but I say that. There's a message here for somebody from their grandparent. And again, for all of us, the elders, that elder card, that's just so fantastic. Because again, it helps us to, learn from what they have, learn from their mistakes. And it's even in a way like some ancestral work is what I feel too. I did a lot of work with Stephen Farmer. That was pretty wonderful when I had a chance to do that a few years back at Circles of Wisdom, which was wonderful. But the end, I will say it anyways, for lack of a better word. When I see the elders, I see Grandfather Sky, again, trusting that wisdom and that knowledge, but in cooperation with the Scorpio eclipse we just had, to me, if you're needing to do some ancestral work and some deep shamanic work to release some of the deeper psychological patterns that family has helped us, has provided us with, for lack of a better word, then this might be a wonderful time to do that. So if you want to take a class, learn something new, process some of your own things, help other people process their things, this is a message for you to get that going. So get started with that. All right, I think that's enough for today. Thank you, everybody. I will see you again next time. Blessings. Namaste.